Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We all love cars, right? The speed, the design, the freedom they represent. But what happens when a car is so flawed, so dangerous, that it doesn't just crash, it takes the entire company down with it? Today, we're diving into the dark side of automotive history. We're looking at 7 cars that were so disastrous, they became the final nail in the coffin for the manufacturers who built them. These are the stories of ambition, failure, and the catastrophic machines that killed their creators. So buckle up, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. First up, let's talk about the DeLorean DMC-12. Yes, asterisk that asterisk DeLorean. The one from Back to the Future. It's an icon with its gull-wing doors and stainless steel body. But behind the Hollywood fame is a story of epic failure. John DeLorean, a rockstar GM executive, dreamed of building an ethical sports car. The problem? The car was a mess. It was famously underpowered, thanks to an engine swap late in development. Its build quality was atrocious. Those cool stainless steel panels were a nightmare to keep clean and repair. And the price? It was astronomically high for what you got. The company hemorrhaged money. Desperate, John DeLorean was famously ensnared in an FBI sting operation. Though he was later acquitted, the scandal was the final blow. The factory in Northern Ireland shut down, and the dream died. The DMC-12 became a legend for all the wrong reasons. A futuristic-looking car that was ultimately a relic of a failed vision. Next on our list is a car you've probably never heard of, but its story is just as dramatic. The Bricklin SV-1. Malcolm Bricklin was a charismatic entrepreneur who wanted to build the world's safest sports car. SV-1 literally stood for Safety Vehicle 1. It had a built-in roll cage and massive energy-absorbing bumpers that could withstand a 5 miles per hour crash with no damage. Sounds good, right? Well, the execution was a disaster. The car was built in New Brunswick, Canada, with government funding. The body was made of an acrylic resin bonded to fiberglass. This material was prone to cracking, crazing, and couldn't be painted. The gull-wing doors, which weighed 100 pounds each, were operated by a problematic hydraulic system that often trapped occupants inside. The car was also incredibly heavy, which killed performance, and it tended to overheat. Production was a nightmare. Costs skyrocketed, and by 1975, after building fewer than 3,000 cars, the company was bankrupt, leaving Canadian taxpayers with a massive bill. The safest car in the world turned out to be a financial death trap. Let's shift gears to a classic American name, Studebaker. For decades, they were a pillar of the U.S. auto industry. But in 1962, they launched a car that was supposed to save them, the Avanti. Designed in a whirlwind of creativity, the Avanti was ahead of its time. It had a fiberglass body, a sleek Coke bottle shape, and was the first mass-produced American car to offer front disc brakes. It even set 29-speed records at the Bonneville Salt Flats. So, what went wrong? Production. The fiberglass body panels were incredibly difficult to manufacture, leading to massive delays and quality control issues. The cars just couldn't be built fast enough to meet initial demand. By the time production smoothed out, the initial buzz was gone, and potential buyers had moved on. The financial strain of the Avanti's troubled launch was too much for the already struggling Studebaker. They closed their main plant in South Bend, Indiana, in 1963. The Avanti wasn't a bad car. It was a great car that was executed poorly, a final ambitious gasp from a dying giant. Now for a tale from the United Kingdom, the Rover P8. In the 1960s, Rover was a respected brand known for solid, dependable cars. They wanted to create a new flagship model to compete with Jaguar and Mercedes-Benz. The P8 was their ambitious answer. It was a big, luxurious sedan with advanced features like a Didion tube rear suspension and a powerful V8 engine. Prototypes were built, and the car showed a lot of promise. But it was developed at the worst possible time. The British motor industry was in turmoil, and Rover was forced into a merger, becoming part of the chaotic conglomerate British Leyland. Let's head back to the US for a truly strange and sad story. The Tucker 48. Preston Tucker was a visionary, a showman who promised a car of the future today. The Tucker 48, originally named the Torpedo, was revolutionary. It boasted a rear engine, a pop-out safety windshield, a padded dashboard, and its most famous feature, a central Cyclops eye headlight that turned with the steering wheel. Public excitement was off the charts. But Tucker's radical ideas and unconventional business methods made him powerful enemies in Detroit Big Three automakers. He also faced investigation from the SEC for his fundraising practices. The media turned against him, and public opinion soured. While he was eventually cleared of all charges, the legal battles and negative press destroyed the company's finances and reputation. Only 51 Tucker 48s were ever produced before the factory closed. Was the car itself dangerous? No, but the idea of the car was dangerous to the established order. And they made sure Preston Tucker's dream would never become a reality. Our sixth car comes from the land of the rising sun, the Amati. Wait, you've never heard of an Amati? That's because it never technically existed. In the late 1980s, after the wild success of Toyota's Lexus and Nissan's Infiniti, Mazda decided it needed its own luxury brand. They called it Amati. The plan was to launch with a flagship sedan, the Amati 1000, which was rumored to have a revolutionary V12 engine, an incredible feat for Mazda. They poured hundreds of millions of dollars into development and marketing. They were building a car to take on the German luxury kings. But then, in the early 90s, Japan's bubble economy burst. The market for extravagant luxury cars evaporated overnight. Facing a financial crisis, Mazda had to make a hard choice. In 1992, they pulled the plug on the entire Amati division just before its planned launch. All that money, all that engineering, all for nothing. The Amati brand died before its first car ever turned a wheel, a victim of catastrophic market timing. Finally, we come to a tragic story that spans the globe. The DeLorean, again. But this time it's not just about the car. It's about a different kind of danger, the danger of political and economic instability. The DeLorean Motor Company was built on a foundation of shaky promises. The British government poured millions of pounds into the factory in Dunmurry, a deeply troubled area of Belfast, hoping the jobs would help ease sectarian violence. The workforce was split between Protestants and Catholics, working side by side. For a brief moment, it seemed to work. But the car's failure, its high price, poor quality, and the scandal engulfing its founder sent shockwaves back to Northern Ireland. When the company collapsed, nearly 2,500 people lost their jobs, and a beacon of hope in a divided community was extinguished. The failure wasn't just about a flawed car. It was a social and economic disaster that left deep scars. The DeLorean wasn't just dangerous to its owner's wallet. Its failure was dangerous to an entire community's fragile peace. So there you have it, 7 cars, 7 stories of failure. From ambitious dreams and technical flaws to corporate politics and economic collapse. These cars serve as cautionary tales in the auto industry, reminders that a great idea is nothing without flawless execution. They show us that for a car company, one wrong turn can lead to a dead end. Which story did you find the most fascinating? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this trip through automotive history, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you in the next one.